Hello guys, welcome back to Van TV Media guys. It's your boy Victor Jumba, and thank you guys for those people who've come here, the new people here. I just tell you, subscribe to this channel so that in case I do upload any story, will be the first one to view. In our today's video, we are going to see, and we are just tackling on how people are reacting in this issue of Trump flying refugees who are African from South Africa to America, and we are just watching on how Latino have responded to this. It seems Latino are not happy on what happened, are not happy on what Trump did, taking South Africans into USA in form of being a refugee, giving them a refugee status. Just watch this and we'll proceed on.
Hello and welcome to Van TV Media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends to get daily updates.
The first group of Amerikaners have landed in the United States, and you're wondering how come this is only open to the Afrikaners. Guess what? It's not. According to a statement from the U.S. Mission South Africa, to be considered for the U.S. resettlement program, you got to meet these three criteria. One, you got to be a South African citizen. Two, you must be of Afrikaner ethnicity or belong to a racial minority group. You must be able to articulate experience of past persecution or fear of future persecution. So if you feel you meet that criteria, you can submit your application and be on your way to the United States as part of their refugee resettlement program. Application is free, and you can even maintain your South African citizenship should you choose to take up this program.
While this racist-ass administration terrorizes Latinos across America, some who have been here all their life have done the right thing, go to their appointments, to do the right things, and then be arrested at their appointments. And then some who just go to work and live their daily lives day by day, graduate from high school, go to college, not committing criminal acts, working jobs and paying taxes like everybody else. Yet this administration, their racist ass thugs, go and kidnap these people, terrorize their kids, make their kids cry, and then we're going to welcome open arms these people right here. If this ain't all out racism, I don't know what is. Sickening, man. Sickening. And I shouldn't hold no ill will toward these people because it's not their fault. And I really wouldn't have no problem with them coming here if the other side was treated the same way. But this is about what it is. Make America white. And treat Latinos who have worked in this country and paid taxes like shit. But you Latinos for Trump, you're all the biggest fucking embarrassments to your old damn selves. Look at your fucking self in the mirror. Ain't nothing white about you, pendejo.
Call out Donald Trump for being a huge hypocrite. Imagine that, Donald Trump a hypocrite. Donald Trump, I thought we weren't accepting any refugees from any part of the world. Donald Trump, how is it possible that you gave an order for the State Department to make arrangements to send a plane to South Africa to pick up South African refugees? And Donald, they all look pretty pasty. They all look, you know, definitely of that pasty color. I got to be careful when we talk about colors. And, I mean, I know y'all may not remember, but Crayola used to have that 64 box of every color in the world. And there's only one color in that Crayola box of 64 that Donald Trump seems to like. And any other color in that box of crayons, Donald Trump doesn't seem to like. My Latinos, I want to understand this now. He's accepting refugees from South Africa. And who else is from South Africa? Elon Musk? Interesting. But any other refugees from Central America, South America, Latin America, any other Caribbean country, Ukraine, you name it, especially those from south of the border, we're trying to deport them and send them out, reject their TPS, cancel their TPS as fast as we can, even when they're law-abiding people. But South Africans, especially those really pasty ones, that one color in the crayon box of 64. There's one color Donald Trump doesn't seem to have a problem with using that color in that crayon box. You know which one it is. What do you think? What is Donald Trump's favorite Crayola color? We all know what it is. Look at the South Africans. You'll know the answer. So my Latinos, y'all going to keep up this voting in 2026 and 2028? Yep. You go FAFO too. Yep. What do y'all think? Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned out light bulbs, and all my Latinos, all of y'all that voted for Trump. You see how he does you and your people? You weren't in that box of Crayola crayons that he picked out. He just picked out one color that he liked for his favorite color to color with. Kind of the color of paper, most paper. And you didn't fit that, I guess. Love to hear from everybody.
I just saw a video that Trump has brought in the white immigrants who are being poorly mistreated in their country, so he wants to save them. You Latinos for Trump, come to the front. Come to the front, you fucking disgraceful pieces of shit, you. What a fucking embarrassment you are to our people, to our culture, to our ancestors, who fought with their freaking lives against this very same regime that you got up, got dressed with your own right and your own free will, and voted for this fucking piece of shit president that's here now. And we all, as a whole, the Hispanic community, get looped in with you all. As, oh, your people voted for him because you want to be white aligned so fucking badly. You know that when Christopher Columbus went to put the island of Puerto Rico, I'm talking to Boricuas right now. When he went to the island of Puerto Rico, he found the Taino people to be so warm and welcoming and giving that he went back to Spain and told the king, yo, give me 50 soldiers, I can take over the whole island. These people are giving to a fault. He went over there and captured all the natives, tortured, killed, sold, and raped the women. And you pieces of shit voted for the same type of motherfuckers. I'm so pissed. I can't even stop cursing. There's not even a word to describe what I think about you Latinos for Trump. There's no, because you are disgraceful beyond measure. And to get a pat on the head that you didn't even get, you're nothing more than a whore for a white man. And that's, I'm talking to men and women alike.
Observation about the South African Afrikaners. During the apartheid, they were, we are Europeans. Now that they want to remain in South Africa, in the land of milk and honey, they are like, we are Africans. And then Trump said, all European settlers from South Africa can move to the US. And now they are like, we are Europeans. I don't think they know what and who they are.
He was never going to pick you. Anyways, so remind me again how you guys were for a person that wanted to get all the people that didn't belong here or came here the wrong way. Why are we trying to fly back white South Africans?
Have you seen the reporting that has come out about the South African refugees that were brought to this country? Our government is telling us people are being thoroughly vetted, and they haven't done a simple fucking Twitter search Have you never stalked someone online? Really? This reporting, go Google it. We were told that these people were thoroughly vetted, yet they couldn't do a simple search on Twitter to see some of the anti-Semitic crap that these people from South Africa were posting. We keep being told that there's a zero tolerance policy for anti-Semitic behavior in this country. We have kicked people out of this country for writing op-eds that were not anti-Semitic. They were simply supporting the Palestinian people. We were told that's a danger to national security. But hey, they're MAGA, and they're white. Trump said he would tolerate no anti-Semitism for people entering the U.S., but Charles Kleinhaus has a history of complaining about Jews online. In this post, Carl states, Jews are untrustworthy and a dangerous group. How is that not anti-Semitic? The message I'm getting from the Trump administration is anti-Semitic behavior is cool as long as you're white.
I just saw a video that Trump has brought in the white immigrants who are being poorly mistreated in their country, so he wants to save them. You Latinos for Trump, come to the front. Come to the front, you fucking disgraceful pieces of shit, you. What a fucking embarrassment you are to our people, to our culture, to our ancestors.
Has anyone gotten on like the farmers TikTok where they're talking about the South African farmers being brought over? So I turned 43 in a couple weeks, and in my lifetime, I remember the fall of apartheid. I remember when it ended, and I remember there was the Truth and Reconciliation, I think it was committee or conference. Anyway, they televised it, and that's where people came and they testified to atrocities, and there were people who were also held accountable and had to apologize, right? If I remember correctly, there was also like court hearings as well. But these farmers that are talking about the refugee white African farmers coming to the United States aren't looking at it from the bigger picture. Like, number one, I don't think they're aware of what apartheid is. I don't think they're aware of like how brutal it was and how a lot of these particular white people want that brutality back. They want a segregation of races. That's why they're asking to come here. So I first saw this with Skylar, the farmer in Missouri who was worried about losing his farm due to a cancellation of the contracts that were made under the Biden administration and how they're not being honored under the Trump administration. So he was really worried about that situation for himself, as one would be, right? So I have nothing but sympathy in that situation. But now that things seem to be a little more resolved, he's still not looking at the bigger picture because he's talking about the South African farmers coming here and how awesome it is. He doesn't look old enough to me. I don't know how old he is, but he doesn't look old enough to remember the fall of apartheid. And honestly, I don't think most Americans do. My dad had a lot of connections to the international news desk at CNN way back then, and his best friend was a producer. So I think that's why it was something that we saw a lot of in our house. But yeah, these farmers are excited that there's going to be white refugees coming in here to like take sanctuary and help out on farms. I don't think they know that these farmers, for the most part, aren't actually farmers, and that they used slave labor. Like, they mistreated people. It's kind of like Elon Musk's family. People don't seem to understand that emerald mine was exploited labor. You know, it was stolen resources, and it was exploited labor. And that's exactly what these farmers, and they're not all farmers, by the way. A lot of them are just inner city people, Afrikaners. And there's a difference there too. Anyway, the gist of it is, they think, it seems, that they're going to have help on their farms by bringing these people over. So I think I don't want to say it for sure, but it feels like they're thinking they're going to get an exchange from undocumented labor from people of color to white legal labor that might be subsidized by the government, because under refugee status, there are some benefits that get extended. So I'm starting to wonder here. I'm starting to wonder if they know what the deal is and how detrimental this is to everybody. You know, I think that we could talk all day long to a lot of these people about the problem with race relations in South Africa, and they may not actually understand it. But I do think that if we spoke to them about possibly this labor situation and their farms, it's a system to take their farms, not to give it to South Africans, but to give it to corporations. So bringing in this labor is not actually going to save them in the long run. It's just a new segue to corporate purchase of their private farms. I have several clients from South Africa who have moved here for various reasons. Even my chiropractor is from South Africa, from Johannesburg. People don't know here that Dutch people, for the most part, it was the Dutch, who came into South Africa and brutally took over. Like, they wiped out the people who actually lived there and forced them into subservience. They stole the land. And then they made the people who were African work on these farms. They made the Africans build the cities. And then they pushed all of the people who built the cities into ghettos like Soweto. There's also the science experiments, the medical experiments that took place. They were very Tuskegee style, okay? It's very, very sad. They did it with AIDS. For example, they did experiments on pregnant women, causing pregnancy losses that were pretty devastating. And, I mean, a lot of other things. They even experimented on children. The brutality of the police to this day is still very infamous. I've heard the spin from both sides, from my clients, from both sides. I tend to believe that there is no need to be a refugee from South Africa as a white person, because they still have the upper hand. And although locals are fighting back because they've been losing more and more rights recently. There's even whole cities that don't allow Africans in there. Like, you know, black Africans. They allow white Africans only. And we can't have that here. And that is what's coming. You know, we think Elon Musk is bad. And they all say, oh, that was a Roman salute. He grew up in apartheid. He supports apartheid. He thrived in apartheid. It stands to reason that Elon Musk would want apartheid here, as does the GOP. If you've made it this far, support some South African artists, if you will. Obviously, Trevor Noah is our beloved South African here in the United States. But if you like hip hop music or really good rap, there's an excellent rapper from South Africa named Youngsta CPT. I love his music. I listen to it regularly. Do not support Die Antwoord. They're bad. They're Afrikaners. We don't.
Do you know the important differences between a Mexican migrant worker and a South African migrant worker? Let's talk about it. First, let's talk about where they come from. Did you know that Mexican people had half of their land taken by the United States? I'm amazed that people don't know this, but think of every city in the United States, Southwest, that has a Spanish name. That used to be Mexico. You know how Trump is saying he wants to take Greenland, how he wants to annex Canada? That's essentially what the United States did to much of Mexico. We have California, Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, parts of Wyoming. I can't even remember all of them. Sometimes Mexican people like to say, we didn't cross the border crossed us. Now let's talk about where South African people come from. The people who are coming here as migrants were colonizers in South Africa. And during the apartheid system, Black people had their citizenship taken away from them, and the country was run by white colonizers. Black people were sent to live in ghettos and Bantustans where they had no legal rights and lived very harsh lives without dignity until there was a revolution and apartheid was overthrown in rather recent history, I think like in the late 80s. Now that white...
So I'm coming for Latinos for Trump every day, every time. When I can, I'm doing it. Because the Republican budget plan just came out, and where's the no tax on tips? Not there. Where's the no tax on overtime? Not there. No tax on income? Not there either. You know what is there? Tax cut for the rich. Lowest there's ever been. But you bozos who kept screaming that he was going to do so much for the economy, that he was a businessman. He's a scammer. And we tried to tell you that he was not for you. Okay? So that just goes to show you, and I hope you're going to learn so many lessons. And they're going to be difficult ones. And we're not going to hold your hand while you learn them. All right? Te calmas o te calmo, like at 100. So you guys enjoy this. Have fun with that.
So let me get this straight. Trump banned Muslims, caged black and brown kids, and called Haiti a shithole, but somehow he's rolling out the carpet for white South Africans, who, mind you, claim they're being oppressed by the very people that they oppressed for generations. This is not refugee policy. It's plantation nostalgia, dressed up as immigration reform. This entire push to rescue South African farmers is built on a narrative, not facts. Yeah, there's some violence in South Africa. Yeah, some white farmers have been attacked. But the majority of the victims, they're not white. And the attacks aren't racially targeted. They're part of a broader crime crisis. South Africa has deep issues, yes. But this ain't some ethnic cleansing of white people. This lie got amplified by conservative media, white nationalist forums, and people who think land redistribution is oppression, when really it's just justice knocking on the door. So let's be honest about what this really is. It's America offering comfort to people who feel uncomfortable with equality. That's it. Because these so-called refugees are being fast-tracked for protection. Black asylum seekers from war-torn nations are being detained, deported, and ignored. They're not being offered farms and safety. They're being offered ICE and silence. This has never been about safety. It's about whiteness being treated like it's in danger anytime it's not in power. But here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to let people run from the consequences of apartheid, land here, and act like they're victims of a woke world gone mad. No. You don't get to gentrify racial trauma across borders. You don't get to weaponize your discomfort with progress and call it persecution. And if you're feeling displaced by land reform, good, because the land wasn't yours to begin with. So if you think Trump's weak attempt to play savior gives you the green light to come over here and start disrespecting people, think again, because the rest of us, we don't play like that. Go find you something safe to do, because bringing apartheid to a new zip code is the fastest way to find out this ain't the America you thought you were walking into. Stay safe.
So this is for all of my Latinos for Trump, which I will never forgive you for putting this man back in office, especially because your roots, he was never going to pick you. Anyways, so remind me again how you guys were for a person that wanted to get all the people that didn't belong here or came here the wrong way. Why are we trying to fly back white South Africans? Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring in some white South Africans. If you don't get the message now, like, you guys are probably the type of people that, like, your ex told you that they needed to focus on themselves, and you believe them. Like, that's the type of people that I believe you are. Because this man was never going to pick you. He was never for you. And the fact that you fell for the BS is beyond me. This was never about getting criminals out. This was about getting people like them back in and back in control. So, like, that whole rhetoric, it was a lie. I don't know if you've noticed, because you guys have been very quiet. I haven't seen a single Latino for Trump come out and, like, defend their stance, because you have no stance. They want us out. We are the target, okay? And you were complicit in getting this man back into power. But it's fine. Like, we'll have a whole therapy session about it. But, yeah, it's very clear what they're trying to do. And you know what? Like, you can still, like, make amends, but you have to start standing up. Like, you have to start speaking up. Just like you were so loud to defend this man, like, we need you now to step up and get united with us and back our community up and step up, because it's getting more radical out here, and they're only doing it step by step.
All right, that's how Latino have responded to Donald Trump after Donald Trump decided to flee flee a refugee from South Africa to USA. Most of them are not happy with the act, and most of them have, it has been seen that they have feel like Donald Trump has uses the, you see, they are not happy with what happened with what Trump has decided to take the Africans, white Africans from South Africa in form of the refugee Afrikaners. So they feel like Donald Trump is using the resources which which he was supposed to do what the necessary in USA, do what they thought that Donald Trump could have done to them, because they voted for him in large numbers, so that he can do some of the things in USA. But they feel like Trump has betrayed them, and they feel like they feel regret for choosing someone whom has a decision that cannot solve any issues that is happening in USA. So this is how the people from the USA, the Latin people, are talking bad, have responded badly to these people who are in USA. We don't know what happened to Donald Trump. We don't know who is the advisor of Donald Trump. We don't know why he decided to do that thing, because most people have accused him for being racist, for choosing one people or one kind of group to be a refugee in USA, whereby we saw there's a church where they were supposed to go and resettle in. The church refused that offer, and we have seen most people in USA, most people in USA are not supporting Donald Trump on what he did. So if you are here and you are a Latin, just tell us and comment us, tell us what do you feel like, these people coming to USA. Was there any hidden agenda, or was there anything that made them to do so? Because we saw Ramaphosa saying that the claim which was there, the claim which made Donald Trump to decide to get those people to USA, was not the true claim. It was false, whereby we saw Elon Musk answering Ramaphosa about what he said about those people who went to USA. So guys, this is what happened in the process by Trump taking people to USA, but Latin people in USA reacted badly, saying that it was not a good act, saying that it was a form of betrayal, and it was a form that made them to regret choosing this regime. Because you see, most people in most things in USA are, the price are going high. Instead, president is using those funds to make the people of USA feel stable, feel good. Instead, using the resources to get people from South Africa to USA. Yet you remember last time Trump closed the refugee camps in USA, saying that he's no longer allowing the refugee camp in USA, which means he was choosing the group of people who are supposed to be a refugee in USA. The thing that has made people to have so many questions to have so many questions. Why is it that he decided to make so? He decided to do away with the black people and to get in the white people as a refugee, is form of refugee. Even you can see on how those people went to USA, on how people came out from the airplane, or on how people were boarding the airplane. You can see it was so difference between the refugee and them. It was so they were far away to be called a refugee, but they have been given a name that those are the Trump's refugees. So guys, just drop your comment and tell us what do you think, like what do you feel like on this issue of Trump taking the white refugee from South Africa to USA.